Hey, Shalom, Call Hello, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim, Chachadash, the one of the apostles of great millstone, and Shalom, two brothers in the highways and byways, doing the work sincerely and faithfully and continually fighting that good fight of faith, Lord willing, we're finding that number to be delivered, all right? And as you see on the screen, it says the first 72 hours, all right? Now, this is attributed by the scholars and the analysts, when it comes to a crisis, or the crisis analysts. All right, they say that the first 72 hours of any crisis is the most critical hours you're going to ever face. All right, and as we know, the time of Jacob's troubles on the horizon, and evils that are going to be all over this world are going to be on the rise as well. And there's going to be a point in time everybody's going to be faced with that 72 hours, all right? And the thing about Babylon the Great here, people don't pay attention to these things as far as being prepared or being warned or taking heed, as most Americans in this country, they're reactive and not proactive. All right, so let's go on. I'm gonna get a couple articles. And this is from My Patriot Supply. And it says, why most people are unalive in the first 72 hours of a crisis. Don't be one of them. All right, let's read a little bit. It says, go to any preparedness source such as the Red Cross, and you'll be told you need 3 days or 72 hours worth of supplies following a crisis. Have you ever wondered why you always hear 72 hours? The short answer is the first 72 hours following a crisis are the most critical. If people are not rescued in 72 hours, the chances of recovery are slim. And why is that? There are several reasons. Utilities, such as electric and water, may not work. The public safety service, such as first responders, may not be able to reach you during a major disaster event. The city government pamphlet explains it more directly, while your state, county, and city will be responding to basic community needs in the aftermath of an emergency. Now, any type of emergency, an EMP, an electrical shutdown, anything. It doesn't have to be something major to the point where, people are totally blown away. But it can be something such as just losing your electricity for a week period, a 7-day period, losing your electricity. And again, most people are going to be like that frog in that boiling pot. Something can take place, but as it just seems, insignificant at the time, but as each passing day goes by, you're going to start to see and understand, like, oh shit, this shit is getting real. It's starting to get serious. And by that time, it's going to be too late. You ain't going to be able to go to a store and go to a market and grab food and grab supplies. It's going to be way too late at that point. Okay? But again, understanding those first 72 hours. Let me see. Let me keep on reading a little bit more. It says, let me just jump down where it says, the first 72 hours after an emergency is most critical period. Basic infrastructures, communication, transportation systems may be challenged, inoperable, or inaccessible. And steady flow of supplies such as gas, ice, water, medicine, food may not be readily available. The first line of preparedness for any emergency is planning to meet your family's or your organization's basic survival needs for 72 hours. Okay? So, again, being that, the scriptures are faithful and true, and they have been explaining to us, the Lord has been giving us the information about the evil times that are coming upon this place. All right? And Esau knows, man. Esau knows that the 72-hour period is a crucial time period. Now, we of the hopeful elect, we trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So it doesn't matter if it's 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 365 hours. It doesn't matter. We're going to put our trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. May he guide and lead and protect us during these times. But the average people, man, they're going to be confronted with that 72-hour period. And a lot of people may not make it out, man. A lot of people may succumb or be made unalive in that time period just because. Another quick little article. Same source. It says, getting caught in the chaos following a disaster. And that's exactly what any type of calamity brings. Is going to bring also chaos. You know, okay? Anarchy in the streets. Unsafeness. It says, sadly, many people will be unalive because of the chaos that ensues after disaster strikes. It says, they survived the mass shooting, but they were unalive in the stampede of the people trying to escape. They survived the hurricane or blizzard, but they get attacked by looters. And this has all the makings of what we're going to be seeing, man. Esau is telling you, man, this is what's going to be happening. You know? And we said it once, we said it twice, we're going to say it again. All these movies, all these movie series that you're seeing, what are they stressing? What are they emphasizing? Chaos, the breaking down of society. All right? The you know, the strongholds that different groups of people are going to set up throughout the streets and the cities. Okay? It says in April 2023, the New York Post reported that at least 78 people have been unalived and dozens more hurt during a stampede in Yemen capital city after a crowd of people gathered at an event to receive financial aid were spooked by gunfire and an electrical explosion. And it's not going to take much, man. It's not going to take much to draw the people out. You know? You can sit in your house for a couple of hours, but once you start realizing, you know, shit is starting to get serious, people are going to venture out there into them streets, seeing what they can find, see who they can meet. Okay? It says, during the recent wildfires events in Hawaii, looters began robbing people at gunpoint, according to news sources. All this is coming to America. All these things that we're reading that are taking place in, you know, different parts of the world, different, you know, countries, different states, all these things are going to be here in Babylon the Great, man. All of it. And it's going to be you know, as Esau says, it's going to be of biblical proportions, man, which is true. It says, according to Marsh McLennan, the 2010 Haiti earthquakes offers an extreme example of this. While many reports of armed gangs targeting women and girls in displacement camps. Right? And that's another thing for you women. You're gonna be prime targets, man. You're going to be prime targets. You see a lot of pride in a lot of women, and they talking about, you know, they got their own, they can do it on their own, they don't need a man and all this other nonsense. While the majority of you women, or I'll say a good portion of you women, is now starting to feel the effects of what it's going to, you know, be like without that man protection around you. You're gonna start to see it, man. You know, and then you know what? It's gonna be in our discretion who comes and goes, as far as you women are concerned. Right now, you got the upper hand because this is your kingdom. The Lord, the Esau has given you the power to pick and choose as you see fit and as your will feel, as you see fit. All right? But when the Lord turns it over to a lawless society, as the saying goes, only the strong is going to survive. All right, let me read a little bit more. It says, while we can't always control where we will be when disaster strikes, we can prepare for now. We can prepare for how we will react when things get hairy. And how do you do that? You learn how to become a gray man. A gray man is someone who can blend into any environment or situation, such as having the ability to move through a crowd or a place unnoticed. A gray man knows how to hide in plain sight while also not appearing to have anything to hide. If you learn situational awareness skills ahead of time, some of you, Shlaki, if you learn situational awareness skills ahead of time, should you get caught in the chaos that ensues, you will have a better chance of blending in and surviving. All right, however they want to put it, that's just basic, basic understanding. But we of the hopeful elect, Lord willing, He protects us, and we're gonna be able to move through the Spirit to destination after destination, and so on and so forth. But the majority of these people, they're not thinking with a tactical mind. All right. I always say, when things start to go awry, people get irrational. All right. An irrational mind, acts in haste, not thinking things through. All right. So all that being said, this is all building up, man. The buildup is here. The time is about to explode. The things are about to be, things are about to be experienced. This is 2 Ezra 16:8. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. All right. This whole chapter is good, but I'm going to hit just the key points here. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famines and great death. The beginnings of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And basically, we prophesying about the beginning of the end, man. The true beginning of the end. The breaking down and the downfall of society as we know it. America has been going real strong for years. And now it's about to stop breaking down. It's about to slowly start to deteriorate. It's falling apart at the seams. And again, most people their brains have been programmed to understand whenever America has some type of calamity on the horizon, they always seem to fix it. And this is why there's going to be no need for alarm. There's going to be no need for hastiness, because they're going to sit back and just automatically assume that everything's going to be all right and everything's going to be fixed. Well, the Lord is going to open up that door, okay? And once that certain door is open, there's no turning back, man. There's going to be no turning back. All right? So the beginning of sorrows and great mournings are upon this place. 2 Ezra 6. And now this is another good chapter, but I'm just going to stick to the key points here. 2 Ezra 6 and 22. And it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. All right? And this is what we're talking about right now here in Babylon, aka America. It appears to be sown. It appears to be in good order. It appears to be in a position where nobody would really believe you if you said this place is about to break down and it's about to be all hell and chaos out here. If you tell that to somebody you've been, you know for a while, they ain't gonna believe you because they never experienced it. All right? But the scriptures are faithful and true. When it says the sown places are going to appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, this is what that 72 hours is all about as well. And that first 72 hours, when any kind of disaster strikes, and I usually kind of term it the low hanging fruit. The low hanging fruit, most everybody's gonna be able to grab. That's your department stores, your supermarkets, running in there, and you can run up in there without too much resistance. Okay? But once these storehouses are suddenly found empty, now the stakes are now much higher, because now you have to enter into somebody's dwelling. You see? Now, again, you may now have to be faced with what's behind door number 1. Who's in that house? What's he have for weapons? What's going on? How many people are in there? Do I have enough, muscle to get in there and get out of there with something? Okay, so I would consider that the high hanging fruit. The low fruit you can grab. You're going to be able to go to your markets. There's going to be a whole bunch of people running around chaos, but you're going to get something out of there. You're going to get something out the deal. All right? But when these storehouses are found empty and there's nothing else for you to grab in these places, now your next step, stakes are going to be much higher. Everybody's going to be armed to the hilt. Everybody's going to be ready to go. You run up on somebody's property, it might be it. Last thing you may hear is some shots ringing out. Okay? A little bit more. This is Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Right? So that's the spirit that's going to be on place, man. That's the spirit that's going to be on this place. The love of many shall wax cold. No one's going to ever goddamn if you got an infant and you ain't got no food for that baby. No one cares. No one's going to ever damn if you've been friends with a motherfucker for 35 years and all of a sudden you looking for a morsel of food. It ain't going to go down like that. And as I stated earlier, these movies are showing you how friends, whom was friends for years, all of a sudden become enemies very quickly. Leave this world behind. That scene with Michael Bacon, I think it was, whatever his name is. They rolled up there and he was like, yeah, ain't nothing here for you. There's nothing here for you. You can sit there and plead all you want. But this is the time that we're coming in. People are going to choose a side. And when you choose that side, you better make sure the side that you choose is the right side. Right? Time is running short, and it's not going to be much more for people to, truly gather onto. End it with this one here. 2nd Ezra 15:19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Again, you may have a newborn in your house. You may just be heading over to your neighbor's house because you think you're still on that same page where, let me go over there, he'll give me something. All right? A man's not going to have any pity upon his neighbor. You have been warned. The Lord's servants and the prophets and the elders and the bishops and the apostles, we've been speaking it. We've been telling you. We've been doing what we've been commanded to do, to come out here and warn the people. We're telling you. Okay? If you think for 1 minute that we out here blowing smoke for no reason and we ain't got nothing better else to do but be conspiracy theorists, you're going to find out real soon. Okay? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right? Great tribulation is coming, man. And it's going to be it's going to be awful. Totally awful for women and children. Okay? Bottom line. It's going to be awful out here for y'all. Now, for those who trust and believe in the name of Yahweh Shai and have faith that the Lord is, will protect them, may He do just that. But don't sit there and be concerned with anybody outside of the circle, man. Anybody outside of that circle who ain't taking this thing serious, who don't believe in the name of Yahweh Shai, you're going to have to leave their asses alone, man. Let them perish. Excuse me. The angel told Ezra, be not concerned about the death of those who don't believe, roughly paraphrasing. All right? You may know somebody for 20 years. May have been a good person in the world. But the time is going to come where you're going to have to draw that line in the sand. All right? So I'm going to end it with that. Just a quick hit, concerning the first 72 hours of a collapse or a calamity or a disaster or a blackout, anything you want to call it. Them first 72 hours, a lot of you are going to be faced with that first 72. And the crazy thing about it is, you ain't going to know when it starts. You ain't going to know when it's happening. Because your mind is so far gone in the folly of this world that when the men of the Lord tell you these things, you have no time for it. As the Lord said, ye have set at naught all my counsel. Well, just remember, you've been warned. You've been told. Right? So with that, I'm going to say shalom.